You spend that life there, it's almost apparent in a way. There's something about
You're right.
the personality in New York.
You are so right because I think the first time that I really, came in contact with making a lot of choices for myself, and especially under the scrutiny of people or whatever, or pressure of whatever, I knew what I didn't want right away, and I knew I didn't want it because of New York. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know about all these other things,
Yeah.
but what I know is that I'm not going to be doing this, and that was helpful. It really did. It did parent me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I think especially with the huge song. I mean, Empire State of Mind. It's almost replaced New York, New York as the song for New York. You guys did it.
No, that's crazy. No, I mean that's
right.
Literally crazy, and we're super proud of it. And we always look at each other like, "What? Like seriously?"
But it seems like, but you're like a lot of these songs. It's very hard for me to on the new record. I mean, want to just stay with that. Like it seems like the underdog song is sort of almost like an anthem out of respect for people that struggle, and from what in some ways a little bit what you came from maybe.
A lot of what I came from. I mean, I definitely defy the odds. My mother defied the odds for sure.
Yeah.
Without question. So there's no question that that's our life. And it's also the hundreds and thousands of other people that, are not expected to be able to make it out of whatever situation or circumstance they're in currently. And I think, we all have that possibility,
sure.
So it's definitely, that's why that song is the song is actually really about like when you meet people and you don't know them, and how do you actually open yourself to, do we actually see each other, or do we kind of just pass each other in our busyness? Do we know each other's stories, or do we just kind of like, are so ingratiated in our world?
Well, that's sort of like in a few of the songs, like Gramercy Park, too, a little bit, right?
Gramercy Park is one of my favorites, one of my favorite songs I
love that
ever
groove
wrote.
on there, and that it's really kind of an intimate song. It's not, it's a little more, it feels personal. Like the instrumentation feels very sort of candid, and you know what I mean? Like
it's definitely very raw, very stripped back.
Yeah.
Totally folksy, and
I
love that about it. But I love most importantly is about the way that you change yourself unknowingly because you love somebody, thinking that you're doing it out of love, but only to find out that you've lost yourself in the process.
Right. Because that's what I was thinking when I heard it. I was like, because there's a line in there where it's sort of like, you fell in love with somebody like you don't even know really, or something something along those lines, right?
It's like now you've fallen for a person that's not even me, because I forgot about the person that I used to be.
Oh my God! Is everything okay with your husband? What's going on?
That is, honestly, I find that me and my husband are amazing. I think that I find that happens with my friends and different relationships that I've had in the past where I wasn't so solid, or I didn't really understand how to be clearly myself. I was like more of a shapeshifter because, I was just learning.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. And Truth Without Love is a Lie. Where'd that come from?
I love that. I mean, that's one of my favorite songs.
It's like the phrase, I can't stop thinking about, the poetry of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it means a lot of things to a lot of people under different circumstances. But for me, I feel like you can have all the truth in the world and you can be spitting all the truth in the world. But if you are not saying it with love, how does that person receive it? Is it actually the truth, or is it just a lie? So it's like, I think there's such a power in that poetry. You're right. And it's like this honest delivery in that song that I love.
Yeah. And you can also use truth as a weapon. Sometimes, not saying something is more loving than saying something.
That's true. That is true.
But I think it's interesting you say that you didn't know who you were, how to hold on to yourself throughout a lot of what you were doing. Because I feel that on this record, when I listen to the other records, that your voice is in the cradle of yourself now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right. I mean, you have a great voice. You've always had a great voice, but now you feel some wisdom, and now you're connecting to that wisdom and to your heart. You're not, what I mean? You can definitely feel the weight of it now.
I also realize that I don't have to try so hard. I think sometimes, you try so hard to hit the thing or sing it strong or do this impressive whatever. And it's like at some point you can actually just speak your truth and just say what you feel, and you can deliver it in so many different ways. And there's not just one way to be great. And I think that, that's some of the stereotyping we have to break down as humans, because we think, man, I'm only great if I. So it's cool to be able to not have to try so hard.
Right. And sometimes, like, if you're one of those people that never thinks you're doing good enough, there's no end to that. And you're just going to, burn yourself out. Right. You never be happy.
You're right. You do have to recognize what's special about you, which
right. And also just be like, that was good. Like, I did all right. I here's the thing I always do is sort of like, I've been doing this a long fucking time. So like, right. So like, whatever I think about it, I know how to do this. So like, I don't have to beat myself up thinking I don't know how to do stand up or whatever the hell I do. Right.
Right.
So and then you can relax a little bit and at least enjoy what you do.
And strangely enough, I have a kind of an opposite feeling. I feel like every time I do what I do, I don't know what I'm doing. And really? I actually, of course, I know I've done it before, but I don't exactly know how it's going to come to fruition this time. How when
and that's okay though. But yeah,
I'm
the process.
cool with that. Whereas before, I think I felt like I had to know, or I had to be able to be in control. And was it going to be good enough? And what if it wasn't good? I worry less about that now.
But you have the skill set. You may not know how the piece is going to unfold, but I can play piano, I can sing, I can work with these people, I can write the song. We don't know what's going to happen, but
I know
the craft is in place.
Yes. I definitely put in my 40,000 hours, so about that.
I'll say. Well, look, I know you got to go. Maybe we can pick it up again. It was great talking to you. I love the record.
Amen. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to talk to you. Thank you for thinking about it, putting your mind on it, and connecting with me, and all the good things. I can't wait to talk to you again.
Okay, good. Take care. Good luck with the record.
Thank you, man. Talk to you later.
That was fun, right? We locked in. I liked her a lot, and I like the new record. Her new record, Alicia, is out now wherever you get your music. So, here's an upbeat thing. Before we get to John Leguizamo, I've changed my opinion. I've changed a long-held opinion. And I'll share it with you. And it was not a great opinion, but I didn't... Years ago, when I saw Robert Altman's Long Goodbye with... Elliot Gould, I didn't think it worked. Yeah, granted, as time went on, I realized I was the only one that thought that. And I love Altman. He made one of my favorite movies of all time, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. But I just couldn't lock into The Long Goodbye. And for some reason last night, I don't know how I got there, I ended up watching One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which, I don't know if you've read that book by Ken Kesey. The book is genius. It's written from the point of view of Chief. But the movie's pretty fucking great, too. In that last scene where Chief's like, I'm going to take you with me. It's like, wow. All right. But then I got from there somehow to The Long Goodbye, and it was fucking great. Elliot Gould was great, just turning that form, the Private Dick movie, on its head in that 70s way. Sterling Hayden. I mean, it's just like I was completely flabbergasted at my younger self for being such a dummy. Do yourself a favor and watch The Long Goodbye. I think it's on Amazon Prime is where I watched it. And, of course, Cuckoo's Nest, if you haven't seen that lately. They're working you like they worked my father. The Combine, that's in the book. Anyway, look. John Leguizamo is somebody I never really met, though he claims we did, but I don't. It's all right. I'm surprised I didn't. I used to be on the Lower East Side a bit, and I knew he'd come from there at some point. Anyways... It hasn't happened. We haven't met, we haven't talked, and I didn't know how it would go. But he's got this new movie called Critical Thinking that he stars in and he directed. And you can watch it on most video-on-demand platforms. And he put his heart into it. And he puts his heart into all his stuff that he's doing in terms of, like, especially his solo shows. And I was happy that the conversation went well. This is me talking to John Leguizamo. You're sideways. That's interesting.
It'll come around. Hold on. Give it a moment. You're high maintenance.
Yeah, I'm high maintenance. Me? What is? Where are you? Are you in New York?
I'm in Manhattan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I see you got your Emmy behind you. Is that an Emmy?
Yeah, subliminal. Yeah.
What's that's for Freak?
Yeah, that was for Freak.
Yeah. So
my Tony's upstairs.
How many? You got one of those or two of those?
I got only one of those.
Uh-huh. Well, you got to get it up there. You got to get up there next to the other statue.
No, I spread it around, so I boost myself on every floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, like, every room you walk into, you're like, look what I did.
There's a little something. There's a little tribute to my achievements.
I'm winning. Look at me. Now that I can't leave my house for very long, it's nice to see what I've won.
Yeah, my self-esteem starts to drop quickly.
But believe me, it's kind of true, isn't it? It's weird that, when you kind of isolated and you can't really do anything, even walk down the street to at least get someone stranger to go, hey, man, I love your shit. You're just walking around.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny. That's how I get in New York all the time. Hey, Johnny.
But that feels good. And if you don't get that little boost on a day-to-day basis, you walk around your house thinking, like, who the fuck am I? Did I do anything?
But you know better than to Google yourself. You know
no,
the
I never do
nightmares of that sucker. Woo!
I don't do that.
You do that once, you'll never do it again because, like, the first 10 or 15 are like, you're incredible. I love you. You're amazing. Yeah. Then after that, it's like, you suck. You're the worst. You piece of shit. You're fake. You're like, what?
Yeah. It's like a horrendous speedball. Like you're up. And now then you get knocked down. You're like, oh, fuck. And then you're up again and you're down. I don't do it.
I love the analogy.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, really, except that one side is terrible. I mean, I think at least with the speedball, both sides they're different, but they're both good.
Right. No. Google, I mean, you Google yourself after that first, it gets really dark, very dark. And anonymity is a strange drug for people.
Yeah,
it's not the social media so much. It's the feeling that they don't, because they wouldn't say that to your face.
Right, of course not.
None of them would come up to you. Even if they're bigger than you and they could beat you, they still wouldn't come up to your face and say that.
Yeah.
But anonymously, they feel like, you'll never know. I could say this and that.
And you know what, though? You know what I realize, though, is a lot of them, it's their fucking hobby, man. It might not even be how they feel. They're just choosing to fuck with you. They're trying to get you to react. This is like their
they get
game.
off on that. Yeah.
That's the
negativity monsters. Yeah.
The definition of trolling is to poke at you until they hit your fucking sensitivity and you react. As soon as you go, fuck you, they're like, dude, I did it. Right.
Woo, real men. He got me.
I got him. Yeah, and if you fucking get into it with him, I used to, like, way back in the day, you find yourself, like, spending 20 minutes on Twitter arguing with a guy with no picture, no name, and 4 followers, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
You lost half an hour of your life that you can't get back.
I know,
and then
man.
people stop being on your side, too, because they feel like you're being mean or something.
Yeah. Why are you beating up on the guy with no friends?
Yeah, with no followers.
No, it's not even a real person. So, like, we've never met before, I don't think, have we?
Yeah, we have. It's okay. You don't have to remember me. It's fine. It happens.
No, I remember you. I know you. But where do we meet?
No, you don't remember me.
Where was it?
Yeah, I know you, but where?
No, yeah, where?
Emmys. Remember we were at the Emmy party together a couple times? Oh.
I've only been to the Emmys once. One time.
Then how come I remember? I've been there a lot of times. How come I remember you?
Because I make an impression, John. You already made an impression.
It must be you. It must be your charisma.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, like, of course I know you, but I didn't but we were in New York at the same time. I never met you when we were kids. I was in New York. I was on the Lower East Side, 89 to 92, and then at 16th.
I was there a lot.
Yeah, and then I was at 16th and 3rd from 93 to 95, then out in Astoria forever. But I'd heard, I knew you were around, right? Weren't you a Lower East Side guy?
Oh yeah. I was LES. Obviously I'm from Jackson Heights, Queens. That's where I'm from. But I made my mark was in LES. All the performance art spaces downtown. And I lived on Staten and Ridge. Then I lived on 7th and C and D.
That's
for a long, long time.
You remember Hammerhead?
Oh yeah. Do you remember later on the game? Do you remember Zoom Schneider, that crazy bar?
Where was it?
Esperanto? You remember? That was later. That was like in the late '90s, early 2000s when it
Oh,
started
no.
to gentrify. Oh, you talking about